Hello and how are you? My name is Wahid Umbar, and in today's video we're going to proceed from where we stopped at in the previous lecture. Remember, in the previous lecture we were creating a bottom navigation, and we faced some challenge. So we're going to see how we can fix that small challenge whereby the bottom navigation color was not changing. So we're going to see how we can fix that. So I'm going to explain. I've already fixed it. I'm going to explain how you can achieve it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back here to home screen here, and I'll navigate to my bottom navigation, the basic bottom navigation, which is this one. So let me remove a few things that might confuse you. For example, this silver above. Remove this one. Okay, so that's what I needed us to have. So if you come back here, so let me explain how you can achieve it. So the first thing, you have to create your navigation items like the one I demonstrated in the previous video, and I hope you are following. So after doing that, you have to go ahead and create your stateless widget, your stateful widget class, like the way it was. So one more thing that we would not do was to add the ticker provide state mixin, okay, and then you pass the name of your bottom screen navigation, okay, the name of this class, So so the one more thing that you have to add to your state of your project that is going to have a bottom navigation is this one. You have to add with the ticker. So here, after where the normal class ends, you just come and add this one with ticker provider state mixin. So this one, the one that is going to give the ability to put the bottom navigation in the bottom, and also being able to do what? To modify it. So you have to attach it as long as you're going to do what? As long as you're going to use the bottom navigation in your screen. So after we had to create here the what? Now we had to initialize the build context, as you can see here. And then after you say this is the context that we have. So you put here on press, you should be able to do what? To change the color. When someone clicks the back press, you should be able to do what? To remove the bottom navigation. Okay. So after doing that, you go ahead and put build. This is the normal build that you always have. Okay, the normal build, and then you have an initialize here the context. You come and initialize here the context on each on each build. Then you return back your scaffold. So by doing like that, you'll be able to achieve what I've just done, what I've just explained here. So you return back the scaffold. I believe everyone knows how to do this this scaffold. Then after turning back the scaffold, you give it the background color, and then after you go ahead and give it the bottom navigation. So in this bottom navigation, it takes the bottom navigation bar, and then that bottom navigation bar, you go ahead and give it the background color, which can be color.blue, and then you can give it the selected color. So here you have ability to create your own theme. If your color is red, let's say red, you can as well make it red, as you can see there. So after you go ahead and give it the select item color, like when someone select an item, which color do you want to show, and then you give it the default color. So before an item is selected, what color do you want to show? So I can say maybe you should show yellow for the item that are not selected. So the items that are not selected, they are yellow. When I select an item, they are a color that I do the color that I want. All right, so it takes another parameter, is the current index. So this is when you click on something, you go ahead and update the index as I showed you here, and then when you update the index, you call set state. Then to be able to do what? To move this one. So it means that if you have this index, it means that you can also be able to do what? To control it, even using using the button, as long as you can update the index. All right, so you then pass the items, of which I showed you how we did it. You just simply say the items.map, and then you put the loop that's going to receive the bottom navigation. Then you open the curly bracket, and then you start returning a single item by single item. So by doing like that, you'll be able to do what? You'll be able to create your system that has a bottom navigation. So the main mistake that we are doing the other time, we are not touching the ticker provider state. So this is how you create a bottom navigation. You can pause the video and look at the code very carefully and see if you can achieve what I've just done, what I've just explained. Okay, the code is simple and straightforward. Then you can go ahead and put now your body, and then in this body you can put anything that you want. Here, so you can go ahead and put the body there. So you can surround this body with what, for example, with safe area, and then you'll have your body content in there. So that's how you do what? That's how you implement the bottom navigation. Okay, that's how you implement the bottom navigation. All right, so we'll proceed to our next thing. I want to compile this one in, I have 2 emulators. I want one to be in one. All right, I want to stop this from here, and I compile it in this one. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do, we're going to still on bottom sheet, we read bottom navigation. We're going to see how we can do a navigator like this one, where you have items that are that are shifting, okay, and are changing color like these ones. Okay, so we are going to do this. We call it shifting navigation, the one that is shifting. So don't mind about the content in the middle here. The content in the middle, don't mind about it, because for it you can design it at any time, you can change it anytime. So let's just focus on the bottom navigation. Assume that you want to do this kind of this kind of bottom navigation. So let's go ahead and do it okay. So I called it shifting bottom navigation. So come here to shifting the bottom navigation. Okay, so what we're going to do here, we're just going to use the same one. So make sure that you perfect this first one. Make sure that this first one works, because we're going to rebuild on it, other than keeping on repeating ourselves. We're going to just rebuild on this one, and then we'll be explaining things, the changes that we've made. All right. Okay, so I'm going to just come to this very bottom navigation. In fact, that's how we do code. You just write one thing and then you keep on reusing it. Okay, so I'm going to come here to the basic bottom navigation. Let me rename it. It's basic bottom navigation, and then I'll copy and paste it and call it and call it shifting. Our shifting bottom navigation. Shifting. Press enter. Then come here and select the whole name. Press Alt and enter and call it shifting bottom navigation. All right, so we're going to connect it with our home screen. Okay, so I'll come and duplicate this one and call this guy shifting, and then come and put here, when someone clicks, they should be taken to the shifting bottom navigation. All right, so when someone clicks here, they should be taken to the shifting bottom navigation. I will be building as we go up. So when you click there, you'll be taken to the shifting bottom navigation. So right, let's see the changes that we have to make on this shifting bottom navigation so we can achieve this one. All right. Okay, so first things first, you can see this one. We are having a movie, and it is having the icon, the first icon that will be on the default, and also the color. Okay, and then we have movies, then we have music and books, and then newsletters. So let me copy these ones and I'll explain how I do them. So I'll command paste them here. Alright, so we're going to have remember they're on top here in the stateful widget. In the stateful widget. So they will not update until you do what? You restart the app. You restart the screen. So here we have the bottom that is taking the movie, and then it takes the default icon. Then it takes this optional color, this third color of the icon. Okay. So remember, this class we created by ourselves. So it will be taking that color. So we are sharing it. We are sharing the movie, the title of the item, that of the bottom navigation item, and then we share the icon. Okay, and then also share the color that should be changing when someone clicks on that icon. Okay, so let's go ahead and restart the screen. Then we'll be able to achieve that. So I don't know, when I make it 4 they misbehave. Let me go back again. All right. Okay, I'll find why when I make them 4 they misbehave. I'll find out why. All right, so after doing that, I'll find out why when I make them 4 they misbehave. All right, so after doing that, the next thing that we're going to do, we're now going to implement this logic. Okay, this logic that when you click on something it should change. Okay, so that one is going to be in the bottom navigation logic itself. Okay, so you'll see that okay, so here in the bottom navigation, so we're going to have the background color, which is by default blue, and then after we have the selected item, it should be in white. So all the time you select an item will always be in white. So unselected item should be in gray. So the items that are not selected, you'll see they'll always be in gray. So the current item is in index, just like the way it did. And then when every time an item changes, the current item is updated. Okay, so here the difference is in this bottom navigation item, when someone clicks on an item, we change the color. Okay, the background color. Okay, so okay, I think this is where the problem was. So when someone changes an item, we have to change the background color. Yeah, I think that was where the problem mainly is. I was skipping it. So when someone clicks, we go ahead and update the color. Remember, on top here we passed the color here, so we passed the color. So I want, when someone changes, I should update the background color. So you put d.color. Then by doing like that, you'll be able to achieve. Let's restart the screen, of course. Should be able to achieve. The background color is not updating. That's the list label, and then someone changes, should be able to change the color. Let's see where I forgot to put the system state ticker. Okay, this one. Come and copy the naming. Press Alt and Enter. Let me remove this one. Then we're going to explain everything step by step. Import this. Let me remove these things in the body. I'll restart the screen. Okay, so let me explain these things step by step, so you can also be able to write the same thing. Okay, so this we already implemented it as we said in the previous lecture. Okay, so you have to extend the what? The ticker, and they always give the bottom navigation in the and always give the name that is here. Always pass it inside between here, the name of the screen. So after doing that, the next thing you're going to get the index, get the builder, just like the way we did in the previous lecture. This is an optional thing. It's just for optimization. And then you always do what? You always so this one I already explained how you do these items. Okay, so you always initialize the context, and then here this is optional, you can remove it. It's just for the current bottom navigation. Then return the scaffold. I believe everyone can be able to reach at this point where you can just return the scaffold. And in our scaffold, let me open again. In our scaffold, there is no anything. Okay, there is no anything, there is no body, so it means that you can do your own body at any time. You can put your own body. All right, so after we go ahead and give it the background color, which is going to be by default, it should be gray. And then after you say bottom navigation, which is this one, and then you pass bottom navigation bar, and then you pass bottom navigation bar. Then after doing that, you give it the default background color, which is going to be blue. And then after doing that, you give it the selected item. So an item that is selected should always be what? Should always be white. Okay, after doing that, you go ahead and say selected item color, it should be white, and then say unselected item color, it should be this color of gray according to what you want to design. And then you say current index should always be the current index that we did, and then on top you should always update the what? The index. All right, then in here you go ahead and pass the widget, and then say items.nav, .nav. So this is you're just trying to access something that is in the stateful here. That's what you are going to do. That's what you're doing here. Then widget.item.nav, then say .map, and then you open bracket, and then you go ahead and loop, and then say to list, like this one. Okay, so you can pause the video and see how this code is written. So here they give you ability to change the color according to the item, or according to the item that you've clicked on here. So you say color, like this. So you go ahead and pass the icon. So this is going to be the icon, and then you pass the label, like this one. So if there are many, it will be able to do what? To switch the label per time. That's why you see they are able to show one by one at a go. Otherwise, if there are few, then the other label will always be shown. For example, if I make them 3 here, and then I go back, and then I open it, you'll see the label is always shown. Okay, so if you make them 4, it means that the label is going to be what? It's going to be it's going to take too much, and then the label will be showing per clicking over what? Over a certain item. So that is how you can implement this. So this is a class of what? A class of the class of a what? The class of what? Of the bottom navigation. Of course, I've already created it for you. So for you just do what? Go ahead and do it and implement it accordingly. So I hope you can see that, and I hope you've seen how we can achieve that. So by the time you click on something, it will be switching to its color. So that's how you use the shifting navigation. So the shifting will only happen when it is too much than the what? Than the available what? Than the available space. That's when when you click on something, it will shift, and then put the icon in front, and then put the label in the bottom, and then change the color according to the color that you've returned here. So there is no magic. Just pause the video and then see what I've just implemented here, and follow step by step. You'll see that you'll be able to do what? To achieve it. All right, so we are learning. Though it's boring, but I believe we are learning. So in case when you're making an application, you can be able to do what? To use different kind of what? Of bottom navigation. All right, so the next thing we're going to do, so I've been able to achieve this. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to see how we can do the light. So this light is very simple. It's just straightforward. You just implement and then give it the background of light color, and then you just change the icon color. Let me see something that is a little bit different from what we've done. This one, the one with the dark mode. Okay, this is just a screen with a dark mode, and then since we have not done anything with the dark mode, let's go ahead and do this one of the dark mode. Okay, so this dark mode one is just going to be like the first one that we did. So I'm just going to duplicate I'm going to duplicate the first one, and then you see how we implement that dark mode one. All right, so I'll just simply come here and then come and say get this basic one, and then I duplicate it. I'm just going to call this one dark, and then say bottom navigation. Then I'll come and select everything here, and then say dark. Okay, so after doing that, we're going to link it to our home page, to our home screen. So come here to the route menu, and then we'll come and duplicate this one on top here and give it dark navigation, and then you can come here and change the wording to dark like this. All right, so I'll save. Now when I click here, I should be able to go to the dark one. So the whole point is the dark one is going to be just in like the basic one, but in the dark mode, this one. All right, so the first thing that we'll do, you'll have to change the background of your app bar. Okay, to do what? To become dark. All right, so let me go ahead and do that. We'll first change the background of the whole application to black. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll come here to our scaffold and give it background of black. There's something with my emulator, it's not updating. All right, oh, I just put it in the wrong place, sorry. It's supposed to be in the dark one here. Okay, so I'll just come here to the scaffold and give it a background color of black. So after giving the background color of black, the next thing you're going to after giving the background color of black, then the next thing you're going to come to your bottom navigation here, the color, and then give it the background color of what? Of gray 900. So I'll come here to this background of the navigation and make it gray 900. So when I click there, you'll see I'm able to achieve that gray 900. So the next thing, this is gray 900. So I think that's it. Yeah, then you'll be able to create something with a dark mode like that. So if you make it really black, you'll just simply say gray black, or maybe black. So everything will be real black. But here, some will not differentiate a bottom navigation from the app. So make it dark, but give it a level of darkness, right? So there I'll be able to achieve a dark, version or a dark mode of bottom navigation. I hope you're together. So you can implement the dark mode like that. Okay, so the next thing that is unique, so you can play around them. So we can see, okay, let's go ahead and do this one where we have a main icon on top, or what we call the primary. Okay, so this one's a little bit unique, so we're going to do it and we see how we can achieve it. This one with the primary icon. Okay, so some apps like when you have maybe a marketplace and you want to have sellers, and you want it maybe some users, the leading icon to always be on top, you use this kind of an icon, so primary. So it's going to be just like the way other bottom navigation are, but the only difference is going to be here. Okay, it's the primary one. So you'll have the tab bar, and then these are going to be the tabs, and then you're going to have the first icon, the second icon, but the third icon is not really going to be in the in your bottom navigation. It's going to be a floating icon, but outside the bottom navigation. Then by doing like this, you'll have achieved the the primary navigation. All right, so let's go ahead and see how we can implement this. So let's go ahead and implement this one. Okay, so I'll just simply come and put here what we call primary. I'll duplicate maybe this basic one. So I just simply come and put here primary bottom navigation, and then come here and put Alt and Enter, and then just change this one to what? To primary. Okay, so I'm just going to explain the code. All right, I'm going to explain the code, so be very attentive. I'm going to first remove useless things that we don't need. So it's our scaffold. I'm going to remove the up bar, we don't need it. So I can explain the code that's going to make sense to you, and you also try it out. So I can even remove the the content. So I'm going to say text content. All right, let's go ahead and link it. So I'll come here to our main route, come and duplicate this first one, put primary bottom navigation, put the word primary. Okay, now come back, click on primary, so you're able to have that. So let me explain what is happening here. Okay, let me explain what is happening here. So the whole point is, there is really no bottom navigation. There is no bottom navigation, but we are just having two tabs and a floating icon that is in the middle of those two tabs. Okay, then we'll be able to achieve something like that. All right, so let me explain how it works. I mean, how it is done. So this is just our normal scaffold, like the way I've been doing. Okay, so this is our up bar, and in our up bar you can even remove it, so you can have an empty an empty up bar. Okay, sorry, it is this one. Okay, so it doesn't even extend single ticker. So what you're going to do, so you're going to extend the other single ticker like the way you did it. Okay, and then you put also a tab controller variable. So this tab controller variable is the one that will help to switch from one to another. Okay, so after doing that, you go ahead and you initialize the tab controller in this init state, and then initialize the tab controller, and then you give it the length. The length is going to be 2, and then you, here where there's vsync, you put this, and then you say tab controller, you add you add a listener. So that's how you'll be able to do to switch your tabs. And then you put here the dispose. Okay, and then you say on dispose, then you say if tab controller is initialized, you dispose it. Okay, so I hope you're following. So after here, you build, you return the build, just like the way we always do it. Then you return your the scaffold. Okay, you return the scaffold here. So in returning the scaffold, you can give it background color. So the main point here, you give it a floating, I mean the floating button, this one, just like the normal floating button that you know. So if I remove it, it will be gone. you give it a floating button. That's one that is going to act as what? As our primary button. So this in simple terms, this floating button is not really in the what? Is not really in the bottom navigation or in the up bar. Okay, so after you create primary, so you center, give it margin 10, so it should be a little bit from bottom, it should be on top. Okay, and then after put floating action button. I want to show where I centered it, elevation 2. So this is a place where I center the floating button. We say floating button location. So this is the parameter that is taken in the scaffold. So then you pass floating button dots. So you put here dot what? Then they will give you different places where you can put your floating button. Okay, so you see end top. So you put end top, you'll see your floating button will be here. Can you see? So there are different places where you can put the what? The floating button. So here what I did, I had put it in what? In center float. So when you put center float, it will be here on top. Yet, so it appears as if it is leading, yet it is not really in the what? In the bottom navigation. Then here, you come and create that just like the normal body that you always create. Give it a column, then you give it expanded. So if you do expanded, it means that the content will be in the middle, and whatever is next to that, it will be pushed at the end. Okay, so here you go ahead and create a what? A card. So you can do anything. You can create a card, you can leave it, you can give it elevation of 4, so that it should look like a what? A bottom navigation. This is just a bottom navigation that we are creating manually. And then you put rounded rectangle border, rectangle border, and then put border radius of what? Of 0. So you should not be having what? Should be having the radius, this card. But this is also optional. You can as well put a container. All right. Then after doing that, you go ahead and give it a child. Of course, this child is going to have some padding of vertical 4, so the icon should have some space on top and the other space in bottom, and then it has what you call the tab bar. So this tab bar is the one that can allow what? And can allow you to have different tabs that can even switch using the what? Using the tab controller. All right, so go ahead and give it tab bar, and then give it an indicator. It's going to be transparent, and then give it the indicator tab size. So like that indicator is the one that will be showing where you've clicked. So you can even make it maybe red. So you'll see that when I click on this tab, it shows that I've clicked on this one. You see? So if you make the indicator transparent, someone will not be able to do what? Will not be able to see it. Okay? Then you can give indicator H to be 1, and then you give it the tabs. Okay? So these tabs are going to be arranged in form of tabs like that's like you can hear them. So it's just going to be a container, and it's going to take a tab, which a tab can take an icon and the what? And the color that you want it to show. All right, and then you put 2 tabs. Okay, so when you do like this, you'll be able to achieve an item that is having some leading what? Some leading button. If you go to most marketplaces, mobile application, you'll see they have something like this one, whereby this can be maybe sell. There are different ways how you can implement this one. Okay, you can implement it maybe when you're having an application where there is one main button that you want to be worked upon as a main action button. So you can achieve it by doing like this. So the content will be here, and then someone will be able to switch these tabs, and the button will always be like it is floating on top. So in simple terms, it is not really what? A bottom navigation, but it is just something that you can engineer yourself, that you can create yourself, just like the way I've shown you here. So you can also try it out and see how you can you'll manage it. You'll definitely manage it. So when you're making your application, you can think creatively how you can make use of such things. All right. So the next thing we're going to look at, this light bottom navigation. This one is very simple. Let me look at something that is a little bit challenging. So I've looked at light. For an article, this is just a normal bottom navigation, but like this. So this one is one that's going to have like the main item. Let's go ahead and implement this one. Let's go ahead and implement this one. Okay, where I can have something that is on top. That is a little bit bigger than others. All right, let's go ahead and implement that. Okay, we call it what? We call it mains. Then maybe if time allows, we'll also implement this one with the badge, and then we'll go ahead and implement. Let's implement those two. This one already implemented almost. Implement that one with the main and also that one with the badge, and then we call it a day for bottom navigations. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So I'll go ahead and create the screen. For the main. So it's going to be like this basic bottom navigation, but we tweak a few things. So I'll go ahead and copy and paste, and then I'm going to call this one main bottom navigation, and then I'll come and change this wording. I press Alt and Enter and say main. So after doing that, we're going to go ahead and collect this main bottom navigation with our home screen, which is going to come here at the home screen, main route, and then duplicate this one, and then call this one what? Main route, and then call this guy main, so it should be clickable, and save. So after doing that, someone should be able to see main, but when you click on main, it's just nothing but like the other things. So the first things first, I'll come to our main, and then after we are going to give it items. So it's going to look much more like the one that we've just done before, the one that we just did. It's going to look like this one. In simple terms, there is it's not going to be like a bottom navigation. It's just going to have the main leading item here. All right, so let me go ahead and implement it. Okay, so save time, I'll just simply copy it and paste it there, and then I'll explain. But for you, don't do so, just go ahead and code it. All right, I'll explain everything here. I put it in the wrong place, Sorry, I'll come here where there is main, paste it there. I'm going to explain it, Okay. All right. I'm going to remove unnecessary content. Or I can leave it for you to try. I don't know. So that's our main app. Okay, so let me remove unnecessary content. But there's nothing unnecessary. Like there's nothing very hard here. I'm just going to explain it. Okay, so let me explain. So watch the video and then try it out. Okay, so everything is just the same. Okay, everything is just the same, just like the way we did the tab bar. Okay, then after creating the tab, initialize the tab controller. After initialize the tab controller, we go ahead and do what? We go ahead and create our scaffold, and then this scaffold we give it an up bar, and this up bar you can see how it is. Okay, so I hope that thing unique here is in up bar. Okay, so after up bar we have our container, so you can pause the video and look at the up bar. In this up bar we have our container in the body, and it's going to have a what? A column. So in this column we have expanded. I told you the meaning of expanded. Expanded will make sure that everything is what? Is pushed at the end. It is taking as maximum space as possible. So when you say expanded, it will be able to expand and then push everything at the end. So this content inside the expand is not mainly our business, but you can look at it if you want to design something like that. Okay, you can pause the video and look at this content of this this icon that you're seeing here in the middle. All right, they're just two icons that are in a row, and then with you see it's just a row which has a circle avatar, and it's having a background of this, and then it is having a space of 20, and then it has a column in that row, and then it takes this width with this color of gray, yeah, and then you duplicate it twice, then you'll be able to do what? To achieve this one. And then this background color, you give it the gray light that you have here. So the main point here, our main point is at last here. So we're going to have a card that you're going to give elevation of 4, and then after you give it the rounded rectangle. So everything is just like the way it was in the previous in the previous demonstration. But the only problem, I mean the only difference here is the floating action bar, this one here. So you say floating action bar, you create a normal floating action bar, and then you give it elevation of 3, so it should be a little bit bigger, and then come here and let me explain this one again. So you put a tab you put a tab controller inside your card, okay, in the bottom. So put tab bar, and then this tab bar give it some conditions that you can see here, make it transparent, etc. And then in the tabs, that's where the whole point is. In the tabs, you create the first tab, which will take an icon and then the size of an icon. The second tab, the tab, and then the size of the icon. Then in this one, instead of giving a tab, you give it a floating button, action button. You know that floating action button, okay? It can really stand out. So you make it the main button in the middle of the two, and then go ahead and give the rest these ones. So by doing like this, you'll be able to do what? To achieve something that is having this, and the one in the middle, which is main. Okay, so you can pause the video and ignore the rest and see if you can be able to do what? To achieve this. Okay, only this is what matters. Okay, for now. So that is how you do what? You implement the main navigation, or the navigation, bottom navigation, which has the main what? The main button. All right, so our time is up. I think when you come back, we'll go ahead and finish this one with the badge, or I'll leave it as a challenge for you, whereby you can just do the same, but you'll be adding the what? The badge. Okay, let me just explain it right now, and then you get once. So the badge is here, the one in the badge. I'll explain the whole logic where it is. So here in the badge, you create what we call a wrap. You create a positions icon, okay? Positioned icon, and then you wrap it. You see, you can just pause the video and look at this code. You wrap. So the items which have a badge, whose badge context, whose badge text is not 0, you go ahead and display the what? The container on top of them, which will look like this what? Which will look like this badge. So everything is the same. The only difference is what? Is this one. Okay, the only difference is this one. So go ahead and also try it out. and see if you can achieve such a bottom navigation. All right, let's come back for our last session, where we are going to look at bottom navigation. We are going to look at bottom sheets, and it's going to be an interesting lecture. So make sure that you don't miss. So, and even though they are boring, but that's the only way you can skill up, or you can improve your skills in creating good user interfaces. When you really practice, you get ideas, and when you have ideas, you know how things can be done, and then you end up trying them out. So in the next lecture, we're going to look at bottom sheets, how to do such a kind of things. So make sure that you don't miss. Okay, so goodbye. See you in the next lecture. We're going to take only 10 minutes. So 20 past 4, we should be back for the last session. 20 past 4, we should be back for the last session. Yeah, things are boring.